Hi, welcome back to Like Maria. Today we're concentrating on Lady Macbeth and we're looking at 5 quotes from her own lips that tell us something about her character. So after today, you'll know all about Lady Macbeth, just like Maria. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Lady Macbeth. First of all, early on in the play, she's talking about her ambition and how she needs to unsex herself, to change herself, to make herself more like a man, to make her hard, violent and ambitious like a man. And very early on in Act 1, Scene 5, she says, "Take my milk for gall." Now, this is a really good quote to remember because she's asking something in her that gives sustenance to children, milk, to be corrupted and turned into gall, something bitter tasting, something poisonous, certainly not good for children. So she's asking and invoking the spirits to come and change her physically in order to prepare her for being really, truly evil. So she's linking physical change, this imagery that Shakespeare has given to her, to swap her out from being a kindly, nurturing mother to someone who really is manipulative and unpleasant. Secondly, this is a quote that she gives advice to Macbeth. She often, of course, gives advice to Macbeth. Her advice is really part of the reason that he becomes embroiled in the plot. She says, "Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it." Now that also is in Act 1, Scene 5. And she's saying you must be two-faced. You must look as if you are a bright, shiny, squeaky clean king who is honourable and good, but underneath you must act like the serpent. And the serpent, of course, referencing to the serpent in the Garden of Eden, the devil, the snakish, manipulative, evil, sinful person that brings sin and death into the world and is corrupting. It's a corrupting influence. So Lady Macbeth here giving the advice, look lovely, look pleasant, but underneath be the serpent. Okay. Another moment when she's talking directly to Macbeth and trying to persuade him is a little later in this Act 1. "When you durst do it, then you were a man." Now this is really attacking his sexuality, attacking his self-image. This is at the moment where Macbeth has come and says, we're not going to proceed anymore. We're not going to do this. We're not going to kill Duncan. And she talks about screwing his courage to the sticking place. But she says explicitly, when you raise this issue, when you dared to raise this issue, then you were a man. Implication, now you're not a proper man. She is saying you must become a man, you must go back to those moments when you were imagining being king and imagining killing Duncan, and then you were a man. Okay, another quote right from Lady Macbeth's lips. "My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white." So this is when Macbeth is talking about having blood on his hands and washing his hands and all that imagery surrounding the blood and the stain. And she says here, yes, my hands, I've got the same stuff on my hands, I've got the same guilt, but my heart is not as white as yours. And of course, white here being the imagery of cowardice. So here, Lady Macbeth is saying, I am a strong woman, I am brave, I am not cowardly like you. And there again, the implication is that you shouldn't be a coward. You should have proper courage. You're not really a proper man. And I have changed into that proper man and I am able to bear this guilt. Of course, in the end, she wasn't really. And that brings me to my next quote, where Lady Macbeth appears sleepwalking and washing her hands, and she cries, "Out, damned spot." She's frustrated. She's trying to wash her hands. She's trying to get spot, the stain off her hands that she has incurred because she was a participant in this murder. So actually, despite her earlier bravado and attempts to be like a man, the guilt sends her into a very difficult, dangerous place. The implication is that she commits suicide, and here she is clearly showing that she has taken on some of the attributes of Macbeth when he was guilty, and he was talking about washing his hands and hearing the voice crying sleep no more, and all of that psychological effect of the sin that they have committed. She says out damned spot. So she's kind of become affected psychologically in a way that she decried before. So there you have 5 quotes that illustrate Lady Macbeth's character right from her own lips.